You don't normally associate the word banking with sustainable, the word sustainable, and yet that's what we're going to be talking about in this session here is a new form you could think of as a form of sustainable banking. In one sense, it's used in the conventional sense of sustainability in the way that you just to make choices, essentially sustainable choices in regards to the impact on the environment or on communities. We also use the word, though, sustainable in terms of people. It's a way to sustain people through their various ups and downs of life cycles. We also talk about sustainable in a kind of the sense of the institutions of themselves and the industry in terms of sustaining itself through the business cycles and through crashes and the like. To help us kind of explore this kind of new form of banking, we've got a terrific anchor here for this roundtable, Bruce Cahan.
It's great to create technology and to have PhDs doing theses and advanced research, but if it never gets implemented, I'm not sure what the point would be. What if we create a teaching hospital bank, what I've called Good Bank, and that bank was a first adopter of these technologies so that you could prove to other banks that these technologies work and that the bank itself is safer and more profitable as a bank.
One of the hurdles we have in the system right now is the fact that you do need to be educated or literate to be able to participate. And this in itself is the reason why 60% of the world's population is unbanked today. I think the mobile phone is going to enable us to completely rewrite that paradigm. By the end of this decade, everyone is going to have one of these things in their hand. And if you want to enable banking, then that's clearly the vehicle to do that.
I've never heard a bank say, I actually want you to learn about your money. And yet the process of learning about things, and I've watched customers in our labs do this, the moment of truth when they finally understand something that they thought was complex that isn't, is wonderfully empowering. It's also about exposing people to dumb stuff and actually showing people what it is that we're doing. Because I think often banking executives have no idea what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a 57-step process for something that is actually about moving money from A to B.
Now, when you have other industries face this type of disruption, and we've got two or three very good examples recently, the books industry, the newspaper industry, it's happening right now in the TV sort of cable news business, in the music business. If I told you in 1990 that the biggest seller of music in 2010 would be Apple Computer, you would tell me I was off my tree. But the thing is, you didn't get those record companies with those traditional distribution systems to shift. You had to have a new player come in that better understood the way to connect with customers using this new layer. And that's, I think, what the startups are doing in banking right now. Now, if you prove the model, you may be able to get smarter players in the banking system to say, their distribution cost is 1/10 of ours. They can deliver the product cheaper, they can do it faster, they can scale better. We have to shift or else we're going to be irrelevant very soon.
Ultimately, what makes the only thing at the end of the day is essentially a declining revenue and declining margin. And so the way we make TARP banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo and other institutions that have operated in a predatory manner to take note is as we start providing the enabling technology and information so that people have the transparency and accountability with respect to what's happening with their money.
It used to be that psychology in the old days, what was always talked about was psychopathology, right? It wasn't how do we flourish, it's what's wrong with us. How do we create a system that allows for people to flourish and understands fundamentally that people want to do good, most people pay their bills, most people want to do what's right, instead of creating a predatory system where we look at human frailty and say, how do we take advantage of that?
What I've seen here emerge is there's been a ton of positive analysis, in my opinion, of trends that we're riding here that are going in the right direction, transparency, open data, demographic change with different generations up and coming, all the technology that's allowing us, the mobile explosion. I mean, there's been a lot of positive things.